Yo, what's up, Undead? Alright guys, give me one moment to get in my vibes, okay? I'm just kind of booting up my stream right now, so I gotta get all my chat rooms updated and everything. How you doing, Undead? Undead, you just missed it, so I got a scam call not too long ago, and I just started singing to him. It's pretty funny. Hell yeah, how was your nap, Undead? I just got done with my dentist appointment, which everything was good, no cavities. Not gonna lie though, like when I got to the dentist, I had like a stomach ache. That sucked. You know, I try to go to like appointments and like, you know, have like an empty stomach and stuff like that, but like, I don't know what it was. Like, I woke up, went to the dentist, had like an empty stomach, and then like when I got there, I ended up like having like a little bit of a stomach ache. It was kind of embarrassing because like before like I got like my cleaning done, I was like, hey, can I use the bathroom real quick? You know? Which I felt bad. He was like getting ready to like get my my hygienist poke going. That was like he was getting ready to go. I'm like, hey, 1 second, I just use the bathroom real quick before I have to like wait 20 minutes into this, because you know my stomach was kind of like, you know, like when it kind of like pulses like that. It's just not really a good feeling. Yeah. That was the first time I've had to do that at a dentist's office, but other than that, I'm good. Everything was good. Nothing was wrong with my teeth. That sucked though. Other than that, we got done with the dentist not too long ago, and then me and my girlfriend, we went shopping because we had a shop too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I also got good news too, Undead. There was 2 individuals that were breaking rules on a Minecraft server. They were also griefers and, you know, troublemakers, as I like to call them. We did issue bans on them, okay? So I do got good news. We did get two of those people banned. I did catch them in the act of causing problems, so. Just letting you know, like, that's what's been going on with, like, trolls on the server. What's up, Alex? Yeah. Hey, don't diss me. Don't diss me. I would have actually been on a lot earlier today, but I had a dentist appointment and I had to go shopping too. So there was that today. One of them actually ended up blowing up the spawn and stuff, so we had to do a server backup. So that's what happened with them. Hey, what? Hello. Hey. Hey. Theo. Quiet. No. No. Hey. Quiet. No. What's up, Grady? How's it going, Grady? How you been? Yeah. Quiet. How's it going? Hang on. Stay in the cage. Give me 1 second. I gotta put this dog in the cage. Go in the cage. Go. Wanna act up? Hey. Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. How's it going, Grady? Welcome back. Well, welcome in. Okay, so we're getting ready to walk and roll here, guys. Just give me 1 moment to kind of get everything booted, okay? I gotta get all my chat rooms open really quick. Alright, so one of them ended up like blowing up the spawn and, you know, doing that. And then the other one was attempting to cheat, which I caught him in the act of cheating. And he was gonna try to do like the same shit. So yeah, I got them both banned. We did have to do a little bit of a solo backup because the one guy did destroy our spawn, and that was because a team member gave him op. And pretty much when you give somebody op, they have the power to pretty much destroy a Minecraft server. Let's just put it that way. It was accidentally done, and you know, obviously we talked about it. And, you know, we know what happened, but yeah, that's what happened with the main incident. That's why we had to do the backup. It was the Simon guy. Simon is me, I think his username was. Yeah, it was one of our newest players. And like I told you guys, most of the incidents happen from new players. We know it's not all regular players. You know, it's the newest players, you know. And that's why we have to have moderation on these new players, because if we don't, that's what we get a lot of times. I'm gonna see if we could get yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I didn't give him up. Somebody gave him up. That was the problem. Yeah, you don't give random people up. I absolutely 100% agree. Because the moment you give somebody up is like, that's like giving somebody like access to like nuclear codes or something. That's like a big no-no. It's like, what in the hell are you doing? But you know, it was an accident, and you know, our team member did own up to it, so I'm not mad at him. It's just, you know, it was a setback. I mean, the good news is at least we did catch the guy cheating. So I mean, we got justice on a cheater on our server, so we gotta look at that as a good thing. But obviously, it came with consequences, and that's where the server got destroyed a little bit. And we had to go do a backup, and we lost a little bit of progress. So if any progress was lost, I do apologize, guys. I will do my best to try to help with the response to that. But I do got good news. We did issue bans on the one that actually did that, and then we issued another ban yesterday on somebody else that was causing problems. So good news. We did take some action, and you know, we got also a lot more moderated and maintained now. So things have been good since. And I want to thank you guys for your cooperation, and you know, really means a lot. Also, today probably won't be a long Minecraft stream, guys, as a lot of my Minecraft schedule was kind of destroyed today due to my dentist appointment, and then, you know, having to go shopping. Obviously, having to sleep when I got off my graveyard shift, because that's another factor too. But tonight, I think we are going to do some COD Zombies, maybe some Fortnite. And I think in the middle of the night, because I plan on staying up super late. And I plan on doing a bunch of grinding these next couple of days. I think we're going to do some League of Legends too. So I think that's going to be the agenda for today. I think the next game we're going to do after Minecraft is going to be some Fortnite. But that will be a little bit later, because me and Jess are going to go out to dinner tonight. We're going to go have a little bit of a date night and go out to dinner at least. So after we eat dinner, we come home. We probably will do a couple of games of Fortnite reviews. So if anybody wants to join, you guys are more than welcome to come join in that content tonight as well. And then we're going to be doing, I think, some Black Ops 6 Zombies tonight. I've been a huge fan of Black Ops 6, so I think we'll do some BO6. Anyways, I think we're going to go do some Skyblock. How's everything been with you today, Jumbo? How about you, Undead? How's your guys' days going? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Hopefully you had some good sleep too, by the way, Undead. But hopefully everybody's been having a wonderful day. I hope everybody's enjoying our Minecraft server and everything too. And I do want to thank everybody so much for playing it, and, you know, for obviously supporting our goals and our projects here. Your day has not been the day, not gonna lie. What's going on? Like, what happened? I'm sorry to hear that too, Jumbo, but hopefully it gets better from here on, you know? Just because you're not having a good day doesn't mean we can't flip the bad day and make it a better day. So you still gotta look at the good in the day, even if your day hasn't been the best. Don't let the bad pokes of the day ruin your day completely. Hopefully from here on you will have a better day, and you know, I'll do my best to try to make it better for you too. You know, sometimes talking about problems too, it makes the day actually better sometimes. I feel good about when I talk about problems with people. If you guys want to know the truth, like, that's actually one way I cope with dealing with problems, is actually like letting out the steam. A random got me, is in school. What do you mean? A random got me. Oh, you got in-school suspension. How did you get suspended? Did you fight somebody? And you know, when it comes to fighting too, I don't disagree with it. I don't agree with it. It kind of goes off the scenario of what happened, in my opinion. I think fighting is kind of like a debatable topic. Oh, the kid threw stuff at your teacher. That's horrible. Oh, so you got pretty much blamed for something you didn't do. Well, what you do in this case, man, you don't say you did it. I don't know even if they want to blame you, let them blame you. But you know what you tell them? Be like, did you see me for it? Is there any facts leading to this other than the kid blaming me? I mean, one thing that they should also look at is the fact that somebody's blaming you. Maybe they should also look at him as playing the victim card when maybe he isn't the victim. And that's something I would bring up to your staff. You know, be like, it wasn't me. But you guys also need to look at, you know, this kid's blaming me. He is technically a victim in this case because he had the courage to say it was me when I didn't even do it. And I'm just going to let you guys know now, it wasn't me. Number two, you know, when it comes to, you know, taking action against something, you guys should have your facts over assuming. Well, he shouldn't be blaming you, though, when he can't prove it was you. You know, that's accusing and that's assuming something that's not true. And you need to fight for yourself, man. You gotta fight for yourself. You can't let people, you know, you can't let people take cheap shots at you like that in life. You know, you're pretty much getting thrown under the bus for something you didn't do, and you need to stand up for yourself, because that's self-respect, you know? And that's something you really should bring up, like, and you should tell them, I don't appreciate the fact of you guys assuming me on something I didn't do. You know? That's like saying somebody, you know, spit in your face when, you know, oh, that's like saying somebody stole your lunch money when you don't even know who the fuck stole your lunch money. You know, that's a false assumption, that's an accusation. Like, that's not cool. Well, you know what you should do? You should also, you know, the fact that they want to blame you should try to get them in trouble for that, because that's not right. You know, I would take that into a big old scenario than what it is. Like, I don't care if you gotta go to the fucking commissioner of the school or who you gotta go through. Because that's not cool. I mean, you're getting thrown on the bus for something you didn't do. And the fact that they're falsely assuming you, and the fact that they're teachers and they don't have common sense to actually have facts, you know, before assumption, it just shows they shouldn't be teachers. They're idiots for teachers, not gonna lie. And I know so many human beings that have that mentality of just wanting to blame people for problems, you know? So many adults act like that these days, you know? You know, they take the problem and they just want to blame and throw the problem onto somebody, and half the time they don't even have the facts to even do it. But most people will still do that, you know why? Because it makes them feel better at the end of the day. Feel like they got a bunch of stress out their chest because they just blamed somebody. You know? I mean, even if it's your property, I mean, that shit was stolen from you. That's you know. I mean, there's maybe obviously one thing you could do to improve is obviously, you know, try to like make sure your belongings don't get stolen, or, you know, handle your belongings a little bit better to where hopefully nobody could steal them. That part you could probably do better, but as for like, you know, the kid doing that and stealing your items and shit and doing that, you shouldn't get in trouble for that because you weren't the one that actually threw the product. I mean, yeah, it might be your property, but the fact that the kid stole and also did something with your property and, you know, did something shitty like throwing it at the teacher, like, that kid should really get in trouble. I mean, he committed pretty much 2 crimes there. I mean, stealing is one thing, but on top of it, pretty much, you know, doing battery / assault. That's not cool. Yo, what's that, Nanotech? But yeah, you know, you don't go down without a fight, man. I'm just telling you now, like, you gotta fight for yourself, even if it wasn't you. You know, even if the evidence is going against you, like, you gotta stand up for yourself. If it wasn't you, it wasn't you, and, you know, you have to defend yourself on that title. You know, you don't let people walk over you like that. You gotta have self-respect for yourself, especially, like, when it comes to the truth like that. Like, if it wasn't you, you know, you gotta definitely defend yourself. Number one, you gotta defend yourself for the truth. Number 2, you gotta have self-respect and defend yourself because you're being falsely assumed as something that wasn't you. I don't care if you gotta debate 5 fucking people on that, man. If you want to know the truth, like, I work for a company right now, you know, and most of these managers, they're corrupt and they're piece of shits, you know. We had an all hands on meeting. If you want to know the truth, man, back in April, I pretty much cussed out like 7 of these like top managers, and these people have the capacity to fire me like that if they really wanted to. They didn't fire me. You know why they didn't fire me? Because I made it publicly known in front of like 80 staff. You know, we had an all hands on meeting, and, you know, I pretty much cussed these fools out, you know, on work related issues that they were promoting. You know, because number 1, I wanted to educate everybody. Number 2, I wanted to show people that they need to stand up for themselves. And number 3, I really wanted to debate those 10 people and call them out and make them look like idiots, and I did. And believe it or not, everybody sided with the 1 out of the 10. And that 1 was me. You know, you just gotta, obviously if you're gonna debate and, you know, take things to an approach like that though, you gotta have your facts though too, you know? Like, falsely assuming you for something you didn't do, that's factual. Number 2, did they physically see you do it? Nope, so that's factual. You know, number 3, you can argue that's assumption because that is assumption. If they can't prove that you did it, then that's assumption. I mean, yeah, it might have been your, you know, obviously your materials and, you know, your products that were used in the act, but, well, you're the one that physically threw it, though. You know? Not much, Nanotech. We're just having a conversation. I just asked how everybody's day is, and, you know, we're just kind of just talking about everybody's day. How's your day going, Nano? But yeah, if you never did anything, make sure to, yeah, you gotta make sure to stand up for yourself, man. I don't care how ugly it looks in the moment either. Like, you gotta fight for yourself, you know, because that's self-respect. You want to know the truth, Jumbo? When you're the best at something, or when you stand out to be good at something, people hate you over that shit. You know that? You know what that is? That's called loser mentality a lot of times. Loser mentality comes with jealousy. Loser mentality comes with, you know, trying to get people in trouble and, you know. But we don't know. That's very common in life, man. When you're very good at something, and when you, like, work in a setting, or when you're in a setting pertaining to other people, most of the time you're going to get shit on by somebody. You know why? Because somebody can't handle you being the best. And, you know, you have people that get caught up in their butthole feelings and, you know. Trust me, I worked for a lot of jobs and, you know, for being a really good employee, not only was I a good employee, but I got shitted on and I got fired from a lot of my jobs, or I got threatened to be fired because, you know, I stood out to be the best. On top of it, you know, I defended myself and I stood up for myself in acts that were wrong. And people couldn't handle the truth because they had their little emotional, they got caught up in their freaking emotions, and, they got butthole because they can't control their feelings, because they can't handle the truth. And that's the thing that sucks about the truth. Most people can't handle it. You know why? Because if somebody does something wrong, the truth is going to come back and it's going to give them a slap across the face, and they get so freaking offended by it. It's hilarious. And if you want to know the truth, I believe this life is a test. I really do. I think this life, is like a test of God's faith, And you know what God backs, my friend? The truth. We live in a world of monsters, if you want to know the truth. We really do. We have so many monsters on this planet. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not saying all people are monsters, but I can tell you now, like, life itself is like a rule zone, You got good people, you got bad people, you got people that are like blessings, you got people that are just like demons, You got angels, you got monsters, If you want to know the truth, I think there's like a lot of spiritual warfare in this life. I really do. I think this life is all spiritual, if you want to know the truth, Because spiritual also goes off of energy too, in my belief. Spiritual also backs right and wrong. Spiritual also backs the truth over lies. I believe if you're faithful and you do things right, I believe life gives back to those people on a very big scale. I mean, there's things like, I have a lot of faith. I put a lot of pride into the truth, fighting for good over bad, And, life will obviously, life obviously has its ups and downs, but one thing I've noticed is, life will throw a lot of surprises at you, and it will really bless you in ways you could have never imagined. Like, I've never imagined to be a successful game developer. I've never imagined to actually build a social media website. I never ever imagined to build a social media website. That was one thing I would have never imagined of doing. But you want to know what else I've also learned in life? When life throws pain at you, right after the process of pain, usually you grow into something different. Or usually your life will like throw something good into your life a lot of times. You can't have good without bad, and you can't have bad without good. And trust me, I am a big believer on that, because I've seen both sides of my life. I've seen good and I've seen bad. And I've seen what they both could do. But yeah, my advice to you though, Jumbled, just always fight for the truth, and always fight for what's right, And in this case, fighting for yourself. In this case, when you got assumed and suspected of something you didn't do, that you got to fight for what's right, and that's called standing up for yourself in this case. And then obviously at the end of the day, it did come with a lesson. Obviously since it was your materials that were used in the act of whatever went down. Maybe protect your property better. Don't loan out your property to people. That's probably like the solid advice I could honestly give you in this case. But even if your stuff's still being used in the act, like you shouldn't accept that, it was you, because it wasn't you. I mean, yeah, it might have been your property, but it wasn't you that actually did the act. And number two, that individual did two bad acts in this case. Number one, they stole your property. Number two, they used it in the act of doing something harmful. And you should bring up both points. Honestly, don't just bring up the point of, what happened with the teacher, but also bring up the point that your property was also stolen by that piece of shit, In this case, you were pretty much plotted. You were sabotaged. Yo, what's up, Kai? What's up, Nano? What you up to? What you all playing today? What you guys playing? How's it going, Nano? I mean, how's it going, Kai? How's that also going, though, Nano? I hope you're doing good, too. Okay, I think we're gonna sell some stuff. Also, it seems like it's been a pretty good day on the swivel today. Oh, you did? Nice. Awesome stuff, Kai. Let me go check that out. Yeah, thanks for your help with that too, man. Oh, this is cool. I like that. Good stuff. I love it, man. Good stuff. Oh, you even got like other cool stuff in here too. Let's go. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you for going above and beyond and doing that. That's very sweet of you. Yeah, and if we ever have to have more items in here too, we could always build this to be a 2-story too if we need to. It's pretty amazing how we have a PvP server now. This is really cool. Also, I want to thank everybody so much for getting our YouTube to 100 plus subs. I also want to thank everybody so much, you know, for just being here to support our, you know, Minecraft server, our streams, everything. And I hope everybody's been enjoying the new changes to the channel and stuff too. Alright. Yeah, this is looking cool though. I think in the next couple of days, guys, because I am off the next couple of days, I am going to be working on trying to get us some new updates up for the Minecraft server. I think we're going to have a survival server with no crafting. I think that's going to be one of the new game modes coming. I will see if we can get Fire Escape finished. And then I think we will start breaking ground on the Evolvecraft Amusement Park update too, in the next coming day or two. So I think we do have a couple of new changes coming into play for our server. And if anybody does want to help with those updates too, let me know, as I do plan on working on some stuff in the next couple of days. And then we'll hopefully be getting a lot more players to start joining tomorrow too. I was hoping we would have had a longer stream in today, but it didn't really work out that way, unfortunately, with my crazy schedule today. I had a very limited schedule today with streaming in the daytime, but I do got good news. We're all back on our feet for the nighttime streams. We're going to hopefully start building community on other games, as right now that's definitely a priority for our channel. And then obviously Minecraft, we're going to keep doing daily streams, which we have been, I think, on like a 5-day streak right now. I've also been doing daily streaming again too, so right now we have a lot of magic in the air right now, but obviously if we're getting new players, you know, we just gotta stay consistent and just keep pushing it, you know. And then hopefully in the future too, we'll have other people stream this content too, to try to bring in people at a faster rate. And as my channel continues to grow, I think we'll be getting people faster and faster too. I have been doing a lot of networking in the last day, and we got like another like 10 followers on Twitch. So the Twitch channel was literally at like 385 followers, I think, like 3 or 4 days ago. We're already almost at 450 followers, guys, which is pretty amazing, if I had to say. We did that all in like a less than a week period, and we still have a couple of days for the week milestone. And it's also been kind of a hefty week for me too. I've had appointments, you know. I've had birthdays that I had to, you know, deal with. So it's been a little bit of a busy week for me this week, but I do got good news. We're almost getting through everything that I need to do. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. we got another appointment I gotta take Jess to tomorrow. And then I think tomorrow in the morning around 8 a.m. I'm gonna go get a haircut, which that's not gonna affect our streaming. Our streaming schedule will be okay. I don't even have to go get my haircut tomorrow either if I don't want to, so. But I think I'm gonna go get it. I think I'd rather go and get it done. Get kind of cleaned up and get fresh for the fall. That's gonna be coming up soon in time. Welcome back. So we're gonna go into our shop. How do you guys like the prices for selling food on the Skyblock server? During in-school suspension, so many of your friends were there. Hey, at least you didn't have to do it alone. Yeah, my sugar cane's growing. I'm glad I get to see my mom for dinner tonight. My mom's working tonight. We're gonna go to Olive Garden for dinner tonight. My friend Matthew was there. He's known for being hella short, and when I walked in, the most goated teacher was in there, and he didn't even make us do. He was just chilling, Matthew. Oh shit, I fell through the water, whoops. Alright, I think we are going to buy some grass blocks. $563, let's go. We got this. I've been doing pretty good on this Skyblock server lately. This server's actually been a lot of fun. I've been having a blast. I am gonna probably play Survival with no crafting though. That's gonna probably be another mode I enjoy playing. I'm actually really excited to get that one out of next. I like the classic survival, but the thing I don't really like about the classic survival so much for me is I don't really like the ideology of having to use the shop. I'm personally not really the shop person on a survival server. I think it kind of ruins the survival server in my opinion. Because it kind of takes the fun out of getting items, you know. But that's just my opinion. Everybody kind of has a preference, you know. But I know most people here enjoy the shop, so that's why I keep the shop on for everybody. But the survival no crafting civil should be pretty fun. We may have a shop. What do you guys think we should do for the no crafting silver? Do you guys think we should have a shop on that silver or no? I feel like that silver would actually be fun of a shop because like you would have to do everything through the shop. I feel like compared to our regular survival silver, I feel like if we want to make that silver more fun, yeah, we're gonna have a survival no crafting silver in the future. That is one of the next planned game modes I plan on bringing to Evolvecraft. A survival server with no crafting. What do you guys think? How do you guys think we should structure that silver? You want to hear what I love about like suspension classrooms and like detention classrooms? They always have the best teachers. You always get like the most laid back teachers in those classrooms, I feel like. Or like when you get like when you have to take like extra curriculum class because like you failed a class. Yeah, you don't get the best of the most. I've always had the best though. Yeah, thankfully I've always had pretty much the best teachers. I never really got in trouble like that though. I mean, I ended up failing physics, so I had to like retake physics, and I had like the course. I had my English teacher in 10th grade as my teacher to help me get through that class. She didn't even know how to do it. She's like, I see why you failed the class. I'm like, yeah, because this is stupid shit. Like we don't even know. Oh, Quinn's back. Yeah, Quinn's awesome. Yeah, Jumble. She's another regular player on the server. She just joined not too long ago. Quinn, Jumbled Quinn. Both awesome OGs on the server. I'm sure you guys will be seeing each other a lot. Yeah, I'm not saying physics is dumb, but let's just say, yeah. I don't think physics should be mandatory, because not everybody uses physics in their life. I don't think that should be like a curriculum that you should have to take. Same with chemistry. I feel like that's another one that's kind of dumb. I'm not saying that the classes are dumb, but I feel like they shouldn't mandate those classes. Because most people don't use those in life. I think those should be more like college classes, depending on like what you major in. I can see algebra 2, because algebra 2 is like, you know. Yeah. I feel like things like the periodic table and stuff, yeah, like the elements and stuff, but, you know, maybe like chemical compounds, stuff like that, you know? Algebra, I had fun in algebra up to pre-algebra. Pre-algebra and algebra were okay, but once I got to algebra 2, I was lost. Honestly, though, I wish I could retake those classes at this age now, because I feel like I would do a lot better in those classes. Like, when I went to school, my problem was, when I went to school, I never really paid attention. And as of this day, I really wish I would have paid attention more in classes I struggled in, just to see how good I could have done in those classes. But classes I enjoyed, like geometry and stuff, like, I aced those classes. I'm not gonna lie, geometry was my favorite math class. I loved, wait, how do I get this off? Oh. Yeah, out of all classes though, I think pre-algebra and geometry were my two favorite math classes. But yeah, if I had the chance to like retake some of those classes that like I struggled in school, I wish I could. Cause like I feel like I know I could have definitely done a lot better in those classes if I would have paid attention more. But I think it also kind of goes off the teacher though too. Like if you don't have a fun teacher that makes the class fun, that's another problem right there with a lot of classes in my opinion. I think if you have a bad teacher or you have a teacher that's not really fun to engage with, that right there I think takes a toll on your education for the class. A lot of people go out a lot more motivated when you have a teacher you like compared to if you have a teacher you can't stand or a teacher you don't understand because they suck at teaching. That right there is a big problem in my opinion. Like you would know, like I would know by like the first week of school whether I was gonna like a teacher or not. And then you'd have the ones, you know, you had to give a little bit more time because they were kind of like, eh. You know, they had their cool days and then their bad days, you know. I remember like all the grades, like everybody that like I had this one teacher in 8th grade. She was the pre-algebra teacher. Everybody gave this teacher shit. They're like, oh, she sucked at teaching. You know, she's the most teacher level because you know she had attitude. But at the same time, our classroom was actually a really good class. You know, we had a lot of smarty pants in our classroom. And the teacher actually, like, she was actually a really nice teacher, you know. The only reason she acted like that was because a lot of people would goof around in her class and they wouldn't pay attention. And she was really passionate about her job. She was actually a really good fucking teacher. Like, everybody's like, oh, she's a bitch, you know, you ain't gonna like her. But actually, she was, out of all the teachers I've had in all my school years, she was, like, hands-on one of the best teachers. And she taught math really good. Like, she taught math really good. Like, she came up with her own tricks. And they were really, really good tricks. I mean, she was really, really, really good. And she was a really nice teacher. She actually really was, she was a really nice teacher, but, you know, believe it or not, most of my math teachers I had were actually really good teachers, and they were some smart teachers, a lot of the ones I've had. But one thing I've always noticed is I never really liked my English teachers. I've had some of the most, like, shittiest, like, English teachers. And a lot of the English teachers, man, they were critics and they were, like, judgmental. I couldn't stand some of the English teachers I had. I had some rude ones over the year. I won't forget this one teacher I had. Her name was Miss Gage. She was rude. She was rude. And she was strict. Like, she was the type that would give you homework because she just wanted to give you homework. Couldn't stand that teacher. And her homework assignments, they sucked. Like, they sucked. And then my 8th grade English teacher, she was the type that would always throw detention on you. Oh, you didn't do your assignment? Detention. You're doing your homework in class? Detention. She was the detention freak. Like, I couldn't stand that one. Actually, she wasn't a bad teacher. She was a nice lady, but her big thing was detention if you never did your homework. Or if you pretty much, like, failed a test, she would keep you out of school to retake the test. But you couldn't get mad at her for that because, you know, she wanted to see you pass. But it was also kind of shitty because, like, if you want to, like, there was days, like, I wanted to, like, you know, hang out with my friends. You know, we all wanted to play, like, COD Zombies or something, and, like, I would fail the test and then I'd have to stay back. I was having to stay back, like, almost every week because, you know, I fucking just suck at English, you know. That was, like, always one of my weak subjects, you know. But thankfully, like, I used to always skid by barely. Like, I used to skid by barely, or I'd barely freaking fail. Oh, you couldn't skip class. I mean, because if you skip class, then you would still fail in the class. And in that case, you'd have to retake. Yeah, there was like no way though, I mean. Well, you still gotta take tests though. Yeah, there was no way, because like you'd have to, you would fail the class if you didn't show up, because like you would have like in-class assignments you'd have to do. So you got graded on that. And then you got graded on your homework, and then you had to do test taking, so. Oh, you're saying like I would skip the class and be in the bathroom? And in the bathroom be on my school computer? Yeah, you couldn't do that in that class. She already used to let one person leave the class at a time too. She would have this like little clipboard, and if the clipboard wasn't there, that's when somebody was in the bathroom, and then other kids used to do that. So, you know. And she would pretty much time you too, like if you didn't come back, she'd be looking for you. So if you didn't go to the class, what they would do is they will mark you tardy, and then they would call home saying, this, you know, your student was absent in this class today. There was no way of being able to do that, because my parents would know I would do that. I tried that like once or twice, and that didn't work out good, because they would always call home, and my parents were strict. My parents mainly just wanted us just to pass the class. They didn't really care what our grade was, as long as we passed. That was their rule. But they're like, as for tardies, and you know, as for like fighting at school and stuff, like, nah, you can't do stuff. I mean, honestly, going to the class wasn't bad. It was just the homework policy. That was the only thing that sucked about whole class. I just didn't like our homework policy. Hey, what's up, Shy Baby? How's it going? How's your stream going today, Shy? Alright, right now we sell some sugarcane. What else do we have to sell? We can sell this, but we're gonna convert that to bread. You still streaming, Shy? I don't know if you're streaming or not. I know that there's been a... Yeah, you're streaming. You're playing Faz. Hell yeah. Yeah, if you wanted some advice too, Shy Baby, because I know you're playing Faz. And that's awesome that you like Faz. If you do want another good game... it's called, The Other Side. It is on PC. I would highly recommend The Other Side. Like, I played Phasmophobia, I played a lot of ghost hunting games, but I can tell you now, The Other Side is definitely the best one. I don't know if you have a computer or not, Shy, but if you do, definitely check it out. I think it's like 15 bucks on Steam. If you need like any game recommendations, let me know, because I played a lot of games in my life, and I want to steer you to the good games, you know, the ones that are actually fun to play and the ones that are epic. I'm also a game developer too, so like I put pride and passion into gaming, including the quality of like playing games too. Well, hope you're having a wonderful live stream, Shy. Thank you so much for being here too and supporting us. You're gonna get off? Oh, you gotta get off, okay. You too. I knew right away what that was. Oh, this actually used to be my house. I forgot about this. Oh no, maybe this isn't my house. No, this isn't my house. I was building a base kind of like that in the past, so I don't know what I did with it. At first I thought it was my base, because like I built a base kind of like that. But I didn't remember building this. I'm like, wait, I know I did not do that. I'm like, something like this I would build, but... Oh, somebody built a giant bed. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a pretty cool looking. That's a pretty cool bed. Let's go see what's going on with the pixel. Oh, somebody built Mario. That's cool. That's pretty cool how somebody built Mario jumping on top of the Goomba. I like that add-on. That's pretty sick. We got some passionate builders on this server. I love it. Alright. Kind of curious to see like what other civils we can have.